69. Our winners, Mark Charlton from St Helens and Nicola Cunnington from Brighton. Well done, Mark. Well done, Nicola. Enjoy two fabulous occasions with ITV. Keep in touch with all the F1 news on our ITV website tonight. There we are then. Watch out for the highlights tonight. We'll be back in Monte Carlo in a couple of weeks' time. Well done, David Coulthard. Bye-bye from us all. Welcome back to Austria's A1 ring. David Coulthard has scored in every race so far. A brilliant 10 out of 10 for him here today, but a victory tinged with sadness.
And the whole team is mourning the loss of Paul Morgan, who's a very important part of the whole setup. He started Ilmore along with Mario Ilian, so that's obviously you know, tragic weekend in that respect. And I think this is a perfect end in terms of what we could have done here at the track. And life goes on, and we're going to continue our battle for the championship. And it's obviously, from purely racing terms, we're very happy to have won this Grand Prix.
Tell us about the end of the race, Michael. We all understand the logic of your teammate pulling over, but how do you personally feel when that happens?
I mean, personally, I like to overtake him and prove that that I'm faster, but our speeds are so similar, and Rubens did a very good race, so I was able to, I don't know, I had 3 or 4 seconds of a gap, and I was able to drive within 1 second, and that's it. You're stuck there because aerodynamics get influenced, and you can't go any further. And the team had told me that if I get close to him, then they will tell him to move over, which, considering what has happened today, Häkkinen stopping, I think McLaren quite wisely will now look for Coulthard for the championship. And we have to look as well what is our interest, and Ferrari has taken a decision.
I have to talk to the team, understand a little bit. Of course, I'm upset right now because, as I said, I'm not like other people that thinks, okay, Michael's a great driver and that's all. I have my qualities as well, and I think I'm doing a great job to be a number 2 to Michael. That's all. I have just to understand the situation. I wasn't hoping for that before the race, but that's the way you win.
You say you have to talk to the team. Do you feel that you shouldn't have been asked to pull over? Is that what you mean?
Well, it's well, let me talk to them.
I tried to keep out of trouble, which I was able to do, not make mistakes when the car was difficult to drive initially, and the pace came through. And this is a great strategy win for the team, and obviously I'm delighted for everyone who works directly with me and their part in that.
And so David Coulthard, Mr. Consistency 2001, nibbling away at Michael Schumacher's World Championship advantage. A visibly upset Barrichello is third, Raikkonen's best ever fourth, Panis putting British American Racing in the points again, and Verstappen scoring the Orange Arrow's first point since Monza last September. Coulthard now just 4 points behind the world champion. Barrichello's 4 keep him third. Then Ralf Schumacher, no change for Heidfeld or Trulli. Meantime, in the constructors, as you were, still that 18-point gap between the big two. No points for Williams and Jordan. Sauber with Raikkonen and BAR with Panis improving their totals. OK then, Tony Jardine, how about that start? You can't have seen anything like that before.
I know this is a short circuit, but it's ridiculous. It all happened at the first corner last year. This time it was on the grid. Look at this, a record 4 cars stall on the grid. And the Williams BMWs jumped the Ferrari of Michael Schumacher, but miraculously, they all get round those blocks. Look at them, like huge slabs sitting on the grid. Both the Jordans. And then Nick Heidfeld there in front of Mika Hakkinen and then McLaren. Just look at this one now as Irvine and Villeneuve nearly clash. Villeneuve having to get out of the way. And Irvine goes from 13th place up to something about 6th on the first lap. Look at this. Michael Schumacher said they had to revert to the standard start, couldn't use launch control, and his little brother jinked round him so beautifully. Juan Pablo Montoya up the inside and into the lead. What a breathtaking start there.
A lot of thinking for those engineers over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, a tremendous amount. It's all about reliability. I mean, these electronics, the cars are just packed with them now. They're little rocket ships, and all these little microbes and chips, they've all got to be coordinated.
Fantastic battle between Juan Pablo Montoya, the newcomer, and the old gun Michael Schumacher. What did you make of it?
Well, I think Juan Pablo was defending his line very well. It was a bit like some 81 of Gilles Villeneuve in the more powerful car, but not handling so well, holding them up, but quite legitimately. Now look at it from this angle. Schumacher has to go around the outside. Bit of respect there from Schumacher after Brazil. After all, this is the man, the Colombian, that dived inside him and took the lead away from the Brazilian Grand Prix. I bet I hadn't get too close to him, give him a little bit of room. But, of course, Juan Pablo, he's a racer. He didn't want to give way. Now look at it again. He comes off the brakes just at the last moment, saying, I'm not going to let you through. Quite harmless at the end of the day, but Michael is going to go and see him, and that's going to be interesting.
It all came down to McLaren's pit stop. Could they get David Coulthard in and out quickly enough to win the race?
But they'd fueled up to the maximum that they were going to and stayed out that little bit longer, and David really did get the hammer down and set some fastest laps, which gave him that time. He came in with 25 seconds gap. The McLaren mechanics did a brilliant job and a great strategy from Pat Fry, from Steve Hallam, and you still can't see the Scarlet Ferraris now as David Coulthard comes back. There, you just see Rubens Barrichello coming into view. That must have been a great moment in the McLaren pit when they knew he's kept the lead.
He did a superb job, didn't he, David Coulthard, with those two Ferraris hunting him down and the tyres not working particularly well either.
He did a superb job of soaking up the pressure. This is David Coulthard at his best, who's scored points in every race so far this year. Nursing the car, getting the best out of it. The car was hopeless in qualifying. They lost the balance totally. They got it back today, though.
We think here that he could well be the world champion this year, don't we?
Well, we don't want to do a Murray, do we? And say he's going to do it, put the curse on him, but he's just got to keep going along like that. I'm sure psychologically it's building beautifully, and coming up to Monte Carlo, where he won last year, it's going to be a superb battle now with just 4 points in it.
End of Hakkinen's world title hopes, remote hopes here, do you think?
Well, his manager, Keke Rosberg, the 1982 world champion, said, forget it, son, it's all over. It's surely all over now. But until it is mathematically impossible, he will be allowed to race on.
It really is strange, isn't it, that Michael Schumacher just cannot win at the A1 ring?
It's a bogey circuit, it's a jinx circuit. He let something out of the bag on Friday. It's so difficult for me to get the balance of the car and get the setup right just here. And he always overdoes it. Again, he was running wide, wasn't he? He went into the gravel a couple of times during the race.
When you're his teammate and there are 100 metres or so to go and you're ahead of him, you have to yield.
When you're his teammate, you understand that everything is built around Michael Schumacher. The voice comes through on the radio, the voice that you dread of Ross Brawn, move over please, sunshine. Michael needs those 6 points. And, you know, Rubens has fought very hard. He gets third place. He got third last year from 11th after Michael went off. All that hard work, and he just has to give it away. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaker for him, Tony Jardine. Thank you very much indeed. OK, next stop for us is Monaco. Qualifying live on the Saturday at 11:30. Build up to the race starting 12:35 on the Sunday. Now, just have a look at that. The highlights are on ITV2 on the Sunday night at 10:30. ITV2, 10:30 on the Sunday night. As always here on ITV, just after midnight. Right then, we head for Monaco, home for David Coulthard. A repeat of his win there last year will do just fine. Good night.
If you'd like to know more about Formula One, the website address sponsored by Foster's is www.itv-f1.com.